right, quick apologies there, Jax. I had a computer reset on me,
Oh,
my streaming computer.
2018, man.
But
Come on.
Jax, all I'm trying to say is I'm not sure if China was trying to censor me for my rant there or not. I am a little concerned though because of the timing of that. Don't worry, I managed to save that all in the actual podcast file, so you guys can go and download that right from our from iTunes or our website. In any case, Jax, I mean the long and short of it, Shanghai Dragons not going to do so hot. Let's be
I
honest.
I was saying for the Gladiators and the Florida Mayhem to survive. For Shanghai, I don't even know what to say, man. Like I look at this team and some of it's good and some of it's questionable and some of it I don't even know what it's doing. But a lot of it's me, not knowing enough about the team. Like there, we just don't have the same access that we do to other teams. But I look at the number of players and teams in China and what they could have put together, and this is for me. If the team doesn't perform well, if they finish bottom, I just look at management. I'm saying, if I'm the owner of the team, you got to go, and we got to figure this out because this is just not going to cut. Look, blows.
Yeah, they're good. They're going to struggle, Jax. But that brings our sort of review sort of down to of each of the teams to an end here. We haven't really talked about the actual schedule of this week, though.
That's what we're going to get into, Leplos. We're not even we're not going to go into why or what. We're just we're just going to take a look at these games right quick. I know you have a number of key games. I just How fast can we go through? How many games did you say? You said it's 24 games.
Are we doing a speed? Yeah, there's 12 games a week, right?
Okay.
12 games a week, 4 days of
Holy crap!
three
Okay.
games. So let's go through them, Jack.
Are you
Really
keeping
quickly.
track of what we pick, or are we bothering with that?
I mean, yeah, we can go.
Okay.
I'm just gonna start typing this up on our Discord server, so it's
Okay.
in
Go for it.
permanent records for everyone to access.
Okay. We're not keeping it in the secret
No,
Google
this
Docs file
this is
this
being
time.
released.
All right.
This is not a vault thing. This is public knowledge, so and open to ridicule. Shock versus Valiant, game one. What do you think on this one?
Valiant.
Yeah, I'm with you. So Jax and
Number of people are
Leplos here
saying
on
San
Valiant.
Francisco. I'm going Valiant. Until again, people say, "Oh, Jax, you got everything wrong." Listen, first week, give me a little something to work with here. Once I see some stuff, I'll be better. But for right now, for what I know, Valiant.
Yeah, next game, Jax, Dragons versus Gladiators. Gladiators. I believe we're both similar to that one. Big game of the day, though. Fuel versus Dynasty. Who do you?
Leplos. I have a Jack in the Box right down the street. When my boys, the Dallas Fuel, win, I'm going to celebrate with an Oreo shake. I love them from there.
Wow.
I'm taking my man, Coach Kai, to put it all together and shock the world with the upset week one.
I believe in the Dynasty, Jax. I think they're going to continue to do well here. They're going to probably drop Junkertown again, assuming that's where they're starting off.
Do we know maps?
I
Do we
think
know maps?
I think they are. I'm not entirely sure. I think I
Yes,
overheard on the screen.
okay. If you scroll up, the map pool available maps for stage one. Leplos, first map will be Escort, Dorado, and Junkertown, one of the two.
Okay.
Second map is Assault, Horizon Lunar Colony, Temple of Anubis. Third map is Control, Ilios, and Oasis. Fourth map is Hybrid, Eichenwald, and Nambani. Tiebreaker, best of three match, only Jane Tower. The problem I have here, Lepos, and I don't want to go into it too much. I hate these four map setups. I think it's very dumb. If a series can be over before the last map is even played, and you're still gonna play said map, don't do that to me. But Leplos, that's the first day. That's tomorrow, is it not? That's tomorrow.
That is tomorrow, starting
Lepos,
tomorrow
Dallas
at 4
Seoul
p.m. PST.
tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be some really good stuff. Jax, Thursday though, day 2, we have Spitfire versus Mayhem.
London.
Do we have to? Yeah, it's all the way Spitfire there. Game 2, we have Fusion versus Houston. Jax, I do think that's the game to watch on day 2 because we haven't seen Fusion.
Again, I want Philadelphia to prove me and everybody else wrong and be like, you guys didn't pick us, you're asleep. If I'm asleep, wake me up. I want to be woke. But for right now, I'm going Houston. And in that last match, Leplos, Boston Uprising versus New York Excelsior, going with New York.
I agree with you on that one. Excelsior too strong, I think, out of the gate for Boston has to, as I said, prove me that their underdog title is undeserved at this point.
Yeah,
But the story about underdogs is you have a chance to prove everyone wrong. So,
correct.
but until that point comes along, I'm going to go with the more proven Excelsior team here. Taking us into day 3, we have another Fuel game, this time against the Valiant. Jax, do you see Valiant doing better where you did not see Seoul doing well? Or do you think Fuel has this one?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at chat here, and one of our viewers was saying we can see the map pool. So Fuel versus Dynasty is Junkertown, Anubis, Ilios, and Numbani. Why am I? I have to see where I can see that at a later date, Lepelos. But if that's the case, I'm telling you, gonna put Coach Kai on Junkertown, my dude. It's already over. But you said we're on day 3, Dallas versus Valiant.
Yep.
I'm taking Dallas, of course, Lepelos. Second game, Florida versus Boston.
Yeah, listen. Game of the day
crap.
for the third day here. You have
It actually is Florida versus Boston.
Yeah,
Wow.
it absolutely is because you don't know
Oh, man.
who's going to do well on that day, right? Like, this is a hard pick, I think, right?
Boston.
You
I
pick
can't
Boston.
believe I said that. I can't believe I said that.
I'm going to go with you on this one. They have stuff to prove. I feel like Mayhem doesn't have the
I cannot
staff.
believe we're doing this. Do we really think so little of Florida Mayhem?
Yeah, we do because of their preseason performance. I think that's reasonable to
Tavik, change my mind. Tavik, I know you're listening, dude. Change my mind. We're going to the last map of the day. Lepelos, San Francisco Shock versus Shanghai Dragons.
Can we just speak with one mind on this one? Like, speak with me.
Lepelos,
We're picking San Francisco Shock.
Let's
right?
be honest then. Let me ask you right now, are we ever going to pick the Shanghai Dragons to win a game?
Not for a long time. Not until they play the Mayhem, right?
Okay. Okay, last day of the first week. Oh, wait, is it the last day of the first week?
Yeah, day
is.
4.
Okay, we've got the London Spitfire versus Philadelphia Fusion.
Listen,
Is
is this really a decision either? It's Spitfire all the way on this one.
Spitfire, all right. The second game, Lepelos New York Excelsior versus the Houston Outlaws.
This one is
game of the week. Sorry, game of the day. Sorry, not week, but game of the day.
Game of the day. Game of the day for me on that one. I think Outlaws will take this one over Excelsior. I think they have that drive to really show their stuff. I don't think they're gonna get to show it as strong as they want against Boston against Fusion earlier in the week. Right. So I think they're aiming for this game. They're gunning for Excelsior this week.
Okay. Last game of the week.
Jax, I didn't get your pick on that one.
Oh wow, sorry. And you caught me off guard there because I have to think about this. I'll take Houston.
Look at that, yeah.
I'm not confident. I'm not confident, but I'm gonna take Houston.
Yes, it is a close one.
I want them to prove me and the other people who think that they have peaked wrong. I want Coach Tay wrong to come up with some pro strat that knocks it out of the park, and lets people know, put people on notice. The Houston Outlaws, we're not a second tier team. We're tier 1 with Seoul, London, and Dallas. Here we go. Yeah. Last game of the week, though, Lepelos, Seoul Dynasty versus Los Angeles Gladiators, and I think my Gladiators will suffer their first defeat of the season.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Dynasty, if I pick them to win over the Fuel, I think they've got it against Gladiators here this week.
All right, but Lepelos, I just realized we still have not heard what team you're supporting in the inaugural season of the Overwatch League.
It's hard, Jax. There's a complete lack of
Lepelos.
Canadian teams here. I'm left.
Lepelos.
In the
what
Pacific,
team
there's not even a Pacific Northwest team, Jax. There's not even one Pacific Northwest team.
Lepelos, San Francisco.
That's not Pacific Northwest. That's still California. How long is it a drive from LA to San Francisco?
Drive 7-8 hours.
Yeah, see, that's like me to Oregon. I think it's like 7-8 hours. So, you're not even close to me. Never mind to that. So it's hard to pick.
Who are you supporting, Lepelos?
You're trying to pin me down on this one. Listen, I'm gonna have to go with Red Eye when he said the symbol of the Spitfire is the best. I do like the symbol. It does harken to the RAF. My grandfather was in RCF.
Supporting the team full of Koreans that are representing London. Is this what I'm hearing?
Well, I've gotta pay respect to the Commonwealth, Jax. And
okay.
Yeah, I guess it's better to do that than I feel like California is overrepresented. so we don't need more cheering them on. Last thing we need to do is give them more ego, right? So, and we've got 2 teams in Texas, so why cheer for those teams? And then you okay, Jax. I wanted to talk a little bit about this too because I'm going on a tangent before you pin me down. I'll say
Okay.
I'll support the Spitfire for now until I feel
For
I'm not
now,
strongly I'm
you just
not
want to
strongly
bandwagon
set
them.
on
I can
Team
already
Jax.
see it happening, Lepelos.
This is part of the problem. Like the branding of their teams don't interest me that much. The closest one is the Spitfire, and I'm not that interested in the players of that team. I'm sort of with you on the Gladiators because Surefour's on that. As much as he's like up and down, I still
Yeah,
want
but
to
you got
see my
agilities
Canadian.
for the Valiant. You
Yep.
got XQC Canadian down there for Dallas,
And nope,
Lepelos.
over in Uprising, I guess, right? But
Lepelos. Whatever team gets Mangachu, if there's already another Korean on the
listen,
team and he'll make it 2, then there you go.
if he goes to Florida Mayhem, then I will cheer on from Florida Mayhem from the underdog spot. I'll put it that way because that's how unattached to these teams I am right now. If I'm to be completely honest, right? Like I there's nothing right now dragging me to any one of these teams. So
Is that you know what? That's one of the things I'm looking forward to when it comes to sports. We often think about the on the field stuff, but there's always a story, right? There's something that draws you in. A lot of times it might just be geography, right? But for someone, if you live in a spot where there's no, like if you follow the Premier League in the UK, obviously I live in the States, you live in Canada, but if you have a team over there, something might have drawn you to it. Maybe you've read a story about one of its players or owner or something. Right now, we have a few stories. Like if you take a look at the Los Angeles Gladiators, you have iRemix and his story of, having to deal with the hurricane that hit Puerto Rico and what he had to work through to get through the trials and get on an Overwatch League team. That's also dealing with that broken toe that kept
yeah,
him out of one of the
has he
contenders games.
recovered? I don't know, Jax. I
Um,
think he has, but
so
Jax.
stories like that.
I mean, yeah, the modern sport era. We always talk about stories. Obviously, not just in esports, but also in regular sports. It's something you're seeing more and more.
Yeah.
But you also have to look out for hype, Jax. One of the ways I'm going to point out a hype is how much they're going to talk about the rivalry between Boston and New York. And I'm sorry, Jax, 2 esports teams, one's from Korea, one's not. There's no rivalry here. Like I don't care. They're playing in LA. Have they even stepped foot in Boston or New York? Like maybe.
I've seen I've seen the rivalry try to get going on Twitter a couple of times already. I'm just scratching my head at it,
I'm sorry, like,
wondering what they're doing.
but this is just an example of fake hype to me. Like rivalries, I think have to be built in natural and organic ways to continue to use like cliche terms. But my point here is trying to say these 2 teams are against each other right now is
Right.
pretty ridiculous, and it's only going off of pre-established sports. I don't think that's reasonable. I think the real rivalries that you want to talk about, Dallas, Seoul, London, are the 2 primary ones. Outside of there, it starts to get a little bit trickier. I think you have to start to look about what's going to be developing, and that's much harder to see. I think so.
I mean, it's gonna be partly on Blizzard to help develop these rivalries levels because they're the ones that's gonna be telling the story. It's something I'm looking forward to. I have been highly questionable of some of Blizzard's behind the scenes work, like their camera work and what they're trying to tell me as a viewer. I'm looking, the casters, you kind of know what to expect, but
Yeah,
kind of don't sometimes. Like I'm anxious somewhat. I'm very I'm anxious. I don't know what to expect because Blizzard hasn't really set me up like I thought they would. Lepelos. I was just saying to myself the other day, Overwatch League starts in 2 to 3 days. I don't really know anything. Like so here, one of our viewers was telling me that to go to the Overwatch League website and look at the schedule. I can see all the maps and all these things that are run down. In any other sport, Lepelos, it's presented to me where I don't really have to go looking. I am told. I
I
Blizzard hasn't told us anything.
I actually sort of agree with you on this one, Jax. Despite how big this league supposedly is and us being involved with it, I don't see the general advertising. Maybe that's just me, Jax. Maybe I don't
Too
see
many
it.
ad blockers that I run, Lepelos. I'm on
Maybe
like
it's all the ad
3.
blockers. Even though I would be a target audience for these ones, I'm definitely very worried from that standpoint. We'll see if they've actually built enough hype if the hype turns real or not in this first week, and
I mean,
we'll find out quickly. We
oh,
will.
sorry. I was just saying that the last minute deal that we talked about early on with Twitch, right? That didn't leave them any room
It's
for the
brutal.
setup levels. Twitch has had,
Absolutely brutal.
I'm on Twitch all the time, and I don't see
Yes.
anything.
Haven't seen any ads. The hype isn't there as much as I would expect it to be. It's disappointing because they had a great schedule here for the first week, particularly first day ending on Dallas Field Seoul Dynasty. They knew
Okay,
what they're doing with
then
that
let me
matchup.
ask you right quick, Lebos. Dallas versus
Man.
Seoul. What kind of viewer count should I expect in Twitch?
Well, I think Twitch is going to be advertising it, so I'm gonna say
Twitch will have Blizzard. Hopefully, levels. If I pull up the Blizzard launcher, I'll be
Yeah.
able to click a button right there that takes me right to Twitch, brings it up in my browser, and it's like, hey, here we are, right here, Overwatch League, day one, biggest game. So hopefully that. So, Levels, give me a number.
I'm actually expecting to get over 100,000 across
100,000
across all streams,
all languages.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's comparable or greater than the World Cup, just because it's being talked about, it's being hyped. Now it's officially supported by Twitch, and they're probably going to try and direct people to it as well.
100,000, he said.
And I'm talking about
more
the directing.
At 60, but Lepelos went 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm as I said, across all ones. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if it makes it up there. They're trying to sell it really hard. So I'm going to say it's going to have an effect. Whether that's retained or not is a completely different question. Obviously, as hobby creators of something in that game, you hope people do continue and will slowly spread and find us. Jax, I don't even know where we place on the podcast of Overwatch. I've been paying attention. There's more and more podcasts started every week around the Overwatch League, which
Levels, do it. See, here's the deal though. Will they keep it real, or will they have, they want to keep it PC because hey, maybe we can get so and so to come in on our. Not if you talk bad about them.
Exactly.
You think Hydration's gonna come on the podcast?
I agree with you. That's why we keep it real here on the Overwatch
Rundown,
the number one underrated podcast covering
I do want to say the Lepelos to round things out. We're focusing on the Overwatch League this week. Going forward, I do plan on getting into the open division because that's the other thing that's going on right now. Right now, it's far too broad to even run it down. There are open divisions going on across the world. I was watching my Twitch.tv/Full Circle. They're the guys who put on the OPC. For that region, Lepelos, they were casting the Australian Open Division, some of the teams like Masterminds and Kings Gaming, but there are still hundreds of teams in all these open divisions that are competing. I think Korea is up to like 1,200 teams.
Yeah, something ridiculous. There's no feasible way in our podcast to cover every single matchup.
So it is going on, and I encourage you guys to stop by a site like Liquipedia because Lepelos, I don't want to go because we've already talked about it. I want Blizzard to help grow their brand. I don't want to have to go looking for information on this open division. Just tell me. So if I go to the Overwatch League website, even if it's a little blurb or something that says, minor leagues or whatever, just help the people find and learn about it, right? You want to, let them find some grassroots team that they might want to follow,
Find a nice logo or a nice name.
But open division is going on. I highly encourage people to go out and look for information about it. When it gets down to 32-16, something that Lepelos and I can actually manage and follow, we'll definitely be getting into it. And then from there, we've got contenders. But right now, Lepelos, the only thing I have is Overwatch League. I don't have anything else going on.
Yeah, Jax, I mean, you say that. I mentioned it off the top. 20 hours a week of Overwatch League. I think that's enough. Even if we cut it down to 10% of that broadcast time, we'll still make our 2-hour minimum. Our 2-hour minimum. Jax.
All right. Well, you've got our preview. It was brief as we could make it. I mean, honestly, like I said, I mentioned, I didn't even get into the tanks for the LA Gladiators because that I would go on forever. If you want really super in-depth, people have already done it. But for us, we just looked at it. We gave you our thoughts. That's what we're all about here.
We're looking forward to actually having stuff to run down. That's our purpose here, not necessarily preview.
We're not Dallas versus Seoul, man.
Yeah.
That's an hour alone. Coach Kaikai is gonna, he's gonna give me like 3 hours of material to work with. Levels. Last time they played on Junkertown, they ran this weird composition, man.
Yeah, definitely has. I mean, they're
Okay.
I would be very surprised if Fuel run their 3 support on Junkertown this time. I'll put it that way. That's when
Well,
they did against the Outlaws, but
New Year Lepelos, episode 68, 2018 here for the Overwatch Rundown. He's on at Lepelos on Twitter. I'm at JaxJX_Blake. You can find us at OW Rundown. There's also a link to the Discord. Honestly, click on, if you just like the games tomorrow, I'll probably be here watching them live.
yeah,
If you
I
want to just hang out
can't
in the
watch it
Discord
live.
and talk about the games as they're going on,
Yeah.
I'm there. Feel free to stop by and join us. Just click the link, join. I also want to point out, I meant to say this at the top of the hour. To end 2017, I posted a link to my throw of the year for Overwatch. I hate to go back there. Lepelos LGD Gaming versus 1246 in the OPS Season 1 Finals. Torbjorn, it's just
So good.
mind-boggling. So hopefully
So
I get something to top that, Lepelos.
Uh,
20 hours of footage every week.
yeah.
For how many weeks?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to
there's gonna be some throws in there, Lepelos. I cannot wait.
I mean, obviously, if we were running a highlight package, I'm pretty sure we could have a throw of the week and play of the week. But listen,
Okay,
we're not a full service podcast here, guys. We live off of your likes and shares. So
we actually
obviously do
Lepelos and I are
appreciate it.
terrible advertisers.
We
But
are terrible advertisers, Jax.
how many Torbjorns do I get this first week?
How many Torbjorns? Okay, that's a good question. In total, okay, so we have 12 games.
Okay, take a look. Okay, map pool Lepelos: Dorado, Junkertown, Horizon, Anubis, Ilios, Oasis, Eichenwald, Numbani.
Oh,
The last one, you already know what's happening. You already know what's happening.
So,
Lepelos,
but I don't know how many games are going to go to Numbani.
Listen, Lepelos, Seoul versus Dallas, right? The final map is Numbani. You know Toby is gonna pull it. You know he's gonna pull it.
I'm going to say a total of 6. No, I'm
Six.
Four times. I'm going to say 4 times in total.
Okay.
4 times in total, and you might see it twice in that one matchup.
How many of those are actually gonna work, Lepelos? It don't give me their. Oh, Jack, they bought time. And like,
in which case, none will work.
Okay.
All right. I will be. No, actually, I'm going to say 1 will work 1 time.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
One Torbjorn out of 4 is about the ratio that you can expect him to work. But that's not so bad for like a trick play or whatever.
Episode 68, Lepelos. Very light preview of the Overwatch League. Rundown gets going for real next Tuesday. I don't know how we're gonna run down all these games in the time that we have allotted, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll discuss about whether you guys want something more detailed for a couple games or just go through broadly. I think we might do broad, to be honest.
I think we'll probably do broad and pick at least one game a week and get a little bit into it. And right now, I mean, if it lives up to the billing Lepelos, Dallas Seoul, but
that's looking like the game of the week. That's how we might do it. We might pick one Overwatch League game of the week to cover in a little bit more depth, depending on what happens. But we'll let you know what game that will be ahead of time, probably on Twitter, maybe even too. So check that out. I think that's it for us this time.
At OW Rundown, let us know. Talk to us. Hope you all have a good week. Okay. I mean, like I was saying,
we're in the post section now. I was just